So we will be recording tonight's session for purposes of putting on our YouTube channel at a later time for everyone to be able to hear this information. And I'll put up our beginning of our slide here. And so welcome everyone. It looks like we have around 64 participants today, which is great. Like I said, I'm recording this session. You'll be able to find the recording later on at roadtothehill.setonhill.edu, which links you to our YouTube channel. This is our third virtual orientation session for July so far. This one's entitled Life on the Hill. My name is Matthew Zielinski. If you haven't been able to be on one of these sessions yet, serve as the Director of New Student and Transition Programs, get to work with some great staff members. And so this is a great colleague, Cory Campbell, who's with us today. Before we turn it over to him, I want to make sure, again, that everyone has the ground rules. You are muted for this session. If you have any questions, you'll be able to send them through the group chat. Where did I turn that off? And so you'll be able to do that to send anything our way. I'm actually even going to make it easier so that right now in the chat, if you send anything to the chat, it comes directly to me. I'm not going to ignore you. I will make sure that anything that you send in to the chat will come to me so that I'll hold and bring to Cory at a later point in time so that he can do what he has pre-prepared. And so if you have any questions at any point in time, don't hesitate to send that in. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to let Cory take over here and let us know a little bit more about life on the hill. So Cory, take it away.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm excited to get to join you guys and meet some people today. We are just going to talk about what life on the Hill will be like and what it's like to be a Seton Hill student. Some of this, as the Director of Residence Life, is going to be around the residential student experience, but we're also going to talk about some things that will pertain to commuter students and to the entire student population. So don't worry if you're a commuter and you think, why am I in this Residence Life session? This should apply to you as well. Go ahead and give me the first slide, Matt. Okay, so right now it's July. We just finished the first week of July, and you're probably thinking, what should I be doing to get ready to come to Seton Hill? What do I need to do to get ready to be a college student for the first time? So everyone in here already gets an A+. The very first thing I'd like to see you guys doing is sign up for these virtual orientations. This is going to allow you to meet your classmates and get important information, start meeting people from Seton Hill, and start building relationships. So this is an important first step, and kudos to everyone who is taking the time on this Wednesday evening to join us and talk about life on the Hill. Another big one, in the coming weeks, your MacBooks should be arriving in the mail. This is a great time. I know a lot of you guys might be familiar with using Macs.
Sorry about that.
If you're unfamiliar with the Mac, this is a great time to, take it out, do an unboxing, play around with it. Make sure that you have things like your Microsoft Word and your PowerPoint set up. And that way, whenever you come to campus, you'll have a nice and easy, seamless transition and already be familiar and have a head start. Important for those MacBooks, you should have gotten something asking you to verify your shipping address for the MacBook. So if, can some people just nod? Have you gotten that? Asking you to verify? All right. Make sure if you have not done it, you will need to verify your shipping address before they'll send that out. So I don't want anyone to not get their MacBook because that'll be an exciting day. Also, this is a good time. I probably preaching to the choir, but follow all the Seton Hill accounts on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. We have, Matt, what's the name of the Facebook group for this year's incoming class?
Seton Hill University class of 2024. And so I know if we have transfer students on here, we can always get you connected with one that would be more particular to when you plan on graduating. But right now, I think admissions is putting everyone into the Seton Hill University class of 2024 group.
Yeah, that's a great one. You can meet your classmates. The general Seton Hill accounts is always good, as well as SHU Student Life. And Elise Michaud runs that, and it has lots of great content content, talks a lot about great parts of the student experience, some programs and some things that happen at Seton Hill. So make sure that you're following those, and honestly, that will make sure that you're up to date and you know all the things that are going on and new decisions as those come down the line. Another thing you can start doing, if you have your class schedules, you're registered for some classes, it's not too early to start thinking about your books and getting those in order. You can order them from the Seton Hill bookstore at setonhill.bncollege.com, or you can just Google Seton Hill Bookstore. It will allow you to order your textbooks. It'll also allow you to do textbook rentals right from our bookstore. You can pick them up whenever you get to campus and have everything already waiting for you and taken care of. Of course, if you want to shop around and look at other online retailers, you can get your book information from the website and then shop around as well. So these are all great things that you can be doing, getting ready to show up in just a little over a month here. And then what is the experience going to be like when you're actually coming to Seton Hill? So we still have a lot of moving parts, and we're working to have a move-in that is as safe as possible so that we can bring everyone back to campus. We anticipate releasing move-in dates and times to your Seton Hill email account on July 15th. So exactly a week from today, you should have information with your move-in date and time. If you're worried about taking off work or travel arrangements or anything, you can go to setonhill.edu/student-life, housing and dining, moving into the halls. And I will always keep that updated with our tentative, most accurate anticipated move-in dates, just so that you can have a window that you know you're looking at. Also, when you're starting to think about showing up to college, we want you guys to know each student is going to be limited to 2 guests who can enter the building with them. So if you want to have some family come with you, or boyfriends, girlfriends, brothers, sisters, whoever you want to come with you, only 2 people will be allowed in the building. That's just so that we can keep social distancing and that we don't have too many people coming in contact with one another. Also, we do know we're going to schedule these move-in times. Everyone is going to have a specific window in which they're going to be asked to arrive and try to do their move-in. This is specifically done and calculated out so that we optimize the number of people that can move in without having too many people moving in the same spaces, encountering each other, etc. So we are going to ask that you do your best to try to move in during your window on your date. If you have, extenuating circumstances, you're always welcome to reach out to us. But really, we need everyone to try to stick to those windows as accurately as possible so that we can keep everyone all spread out and safe. And also to know that orientation weekend will be August 14th, 15th, and 16th. This orientation will be mandatory. It will count for some class credits. It has all kinds of important things for getting you oriented, especially now that you can do a lot of the virtual orientations and you can do things. You'll be familiar with a lot of parts of the student experience, but maybe just finding your way around campus and finding your classrooms. We're going to start taking care of some of that throughout orientation weekend. So make sure that you set aside that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're a commuter or you think that you want to go home and work weekends during the academic year or something, make sure that you request this weekend off because you will need to be on campus Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Cory, can you clarify? We have a question here that I just think is pertinent to still this slide. When it comes to having the 2 guests enter the building, how will that work if they have additional guests who are coming with them on campus, but it's beyond those 2 guests who are allowed in the residence hall to help them move in?
Yeah, if you want to bring other people to see campus, we have lots of room outside on the lawn. They're welcome to go out and walk around, hang out in the quad area, to stay in the car. We're just going to ask that you only have 2 people enter the building. And while you're at Seton Hill, what is the student experience like? You should plan to wear your mask for the fall. It's going to be a little bit different this semester when you show up. We will have the masks. We are going to do some social distancing, and it's not quite going to be a normal semester. And we want to make sure that you guys know that you have those expectations coming in. While it's not going to be completely normal, we don't want to forego the student experience. You should still, when you get here, do things like join clubs, organizations, and honor societies. It makes relationships with your classmates, your peers, people in your major, people with similar interests. It's still going to be important to have friends, to have a social life while you're at college. So we're going to ask you guys to social distance, stay in small groups, wear your masks, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing anything while you're here as a student. Seton Hill is 102 years old as a higher education institution at this point. We have a lot of history and traditions, and I'm excited that you'll get to come and you'll get to take part. Given there might be some alterations to this fall, like opening liturgy will probably be a Zoom session, but we will do those. And throughout your tenure as a Seton Hill student, you'll certainly get to participate and learn more about the history of the institution, of the Sisters of Charity, and of Elizabeth Ann Seton. Similarly, you should be meeting new people, seeing new perspectives, meeting lifelong friends. Again, we don't want you to come in and just stay quarantined in your room. That's not going to be a good college experience for anyone. So we want to make sure that you're out and active and really enjoying your time at Seton Hill with your peers. Also, it's a college. I feel like we should mention, we should find some time during the day to get up and go to class, study, find internships, review notes, do the college things. Those will go a long way for you as well. And finally, while you're here, we want to see you graduate. That's our goal for everyone who comes in. And also, not only will you be coming to campus and being a Seton Hill student, but at least temporarily, you'll be a resident of Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania. So we do have lots of local things I want to get you familiar with. Transportation, we have the Westmoreland County Transit Authority. That's our county bus line. And the hub is right at the bottom of the hill, literally across the street from our Performing Arts Center. So if you don't have a car, or you want to take a bus trip, or you just want to get out and about for $2 and explore Greensburg, you can always take our shuttle downtown and jump on any of those transit buses. We're also very fortunate to be located somehow even closer than the bus station is the Amtrak station. That is literally in the parking lot of our Performing Arts Center. There is one train that leaves at like 7:45 a.m. every day that goes eastbound all the way across Pennsylvania to Philadelphia. From Philadelphia, you can connect to go into the Baltimore, DC areas, or all the way up into New York City. So if any of those are close to home, I would encourage you to look at and think about the possibility of train tickets as you try to come home for winter break and other times during the year. We also have, in addition to the Pittsburgh International Airport, which is about an hour away, we have the Arnold Palmer Regional Airport that is just 10 to 15 minutes down the road. It's a small airport. It doesn't have a ton of flights, but I absolutely encourage you to look into it if you're planning on flying into the region, as it's usually considerably cheaper. You don't have to worry about parking, and it's going to be a lot easier to get back and forth. We have lots of cool things around our campus. Area attractions, one of my favorites is Pennsylvania Avenue. Pennsylvania Avenue is our little business district in Greensburg. It has lots of shops and restaurants. It's a great place to walk around and explore what our city has to offer. It's only a block around the corner from the shuttle stops at the Performing Arts Center. And I encourage you to go down, see and support some of our local businesses, and make the most of your experience outside of the campus. We have things like Twin Lakes Park and St. Clair Park. If, especially while we're social distancing, you need to take a break and you want to study at the picnic table in the park, or you want to go walk around the lake, we have lots of things within 5 to 10 minutes of campus. So Don't ever feel like you're just limited to campus and you don't have any other places to go or any other supports. We also have a mall, movie theater, restaurants, lots of shopping close by. One of the things that students love, there are 3 Chick-fil-A's and soon to be, when construction finishes, 2 Chipotle's in Greensburg. So a lot of student favorites, very handy to us. And I included the link here for our Griffin Advantage program. This will give you a complete list of local businesses where you can show your Seton Hill student ID to get special promotions and discounts at those stores. Your packing list from the fall as you're getting ready. You can get started on some of these things. Bring your favorite mask, maybe even a second mask. So you have one, you know, a Monday, Wednesday, Friday mask and a Tuesday, Thursday mask. That would be fine. All of our beds on campus are twin XL. That's about 8 or 10 inches longer than a standard twin mattress. If you're thinking, I've got some baggy twin sheets that'll probably work, this mattress is too big. You're not going to be able to stretch those around there. You should have gotten a mailing from us. We do partner with on-campus marketing, and they had some prepackaged linen sets that you could get that will work with all of our beds. Also, this time of year, as people start rolling out the back to school, you know, sections, you should easily be able to find these twin extra long sheets and comforters and blankets. Places like Walmart, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, TJ Maxx, any one of those should have those in stock. A surge protector, you're going to make sure that you bring those to campus. We have lots of electronic devices that we like to keep plugged in. Some sticky tack so you can hang pictures of your friends and family and home on the wall. We're asking that you not use duct tape or tape or other things, as it damages the wall and pulls a bunch of paint off whenever you leave. You're going to want to bring a fan, and our thing that is commonly forgotten or not thought of, one of those small folding step stools. If you look at the video tours of our rooms, and those are available on our YouTube page, or should have just been recently posted on our Instagram page for Residence Life, your rooms have lots of storage space, and a majority of that storage space is like 6.5 feet off the ground and very deep, and you'll move in and throw something in the back and never be able to reach it again. So bring yourself a little step stool, and that'll allow you to fully utilize all that space in your room. Some things that we're going to ask you not to bring: refrigerators larger than 2.7 cubic feet. Not only is 2.7 cubic feet plenty big for the small amount of groceries that most students keep in their room, it also uses less power than some of the bigger units, especially in our freshman halls that are a bit older. We just don't have the infrastructure to run hundreds and hundreds of full-size apartment refrigerators or bigger ones. So we're going to ask that you keep it to the 2.7 cubic feet. Candles, incense burners, heaters, any fire hazards. Basically, if it burns, it's a bad idea to have in your dorm room, and we're going to ask you to leave that at home. Weapons or anything that looks like weapons. So any BB guns, knives, swords, paintball guns, anything like that are not permitted on campus. So you will need to leave those at home. And in our freshman halls, you can't have electrical appliances in there. So that includes rice cookers, electric tea kettles, microwaves, toasters, toaster ovens. We do provide all of those for you on each floor in the first year halls. Again, we just don't have the electrical infrastructure to support that. In addition to those, no air conditioners unless you have been pre-approved from the Office of Disability Services with a doctor's note for that air conditioner. So I see Matt has...
Do you want me to move or?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, you want to...
Matt has been diligent in moving some of our questions over into a document for me so I can look at these.
For the time being then too, I'll pull the slide off so we can see more people.
Let me see.
So one of our questions was about textbooks. And so what I'll let you know is the process of getting your classes and everything. Again, I'll encourage you all that we have a welcome before the weekend session this upcoming Saturday where the registrar will be there to again remind everyone your class schedules are being worked on. Some of you might have already been contacted by your academic advisor to meet with them. Some of you, your academic advisor is still working on your class schedule to reach out to you. Once you have your confirmed class schedule, when you go to the bookstore website to register and get your books, you will plug in your classes and the bookstore knows what books your instructor already has. So you do not need to reach out to your individual instructors. Once you have your class schedule and know that, you will be able to tell Barnes & Noble, here are my classes, and they will be able to get the books for you.
Awesome. Is there a campus shuttle? Yes, there is still a campus shuttle. We're working out exactly how that shuttle will run. There's going to have to be a few changes to how we typically operate that shuttle, just so that we can observe social distancing without making you late for class and still get everyone back and forth from the upper campus to the downtown campus. But we will still be operating a shuttle for this fall semester.
We had a question yesterday about MacBooks, and so I confirmed with our IT department that our MacBooks are being mailed out. Again, like Cory mentioned, making sure you have your mailing address updated on the website. They will be shipping out starting mid-July, so you should be receiving them by August. That is when everyone should have them. Remember that we're shipping them to domestic students. International students will be able to pick up their laptops when they arrive to campus. Also, if we have any students who are arriving early to campus, because if we ship it to you and you might receive it in that first week of August and you're already coming, whether because you're an athlete or you have some reason to arrive to campus early, there's a chance that if you're an early arrival, you also will receive your laptop when you arrive to campus so that it doesn't get to you before you come to campus. The iPads have stopped being distributed recently. Our students did used to receive a MacBook and an iPad, but we were able to see through all of our data usage that the iPads weren't as effective anymore. MacBooks nowadays can do so many things that every student gets a MacBook Air, 13-inch MacBook Air, 1.1 gigahertz quad core, 10th generation Intel Core i5 processor, 512 gigabytes. So a 13-inch MacBook Air is what every student will receive, but the iPads have stopped being distributed because they just weren't being used as much anymore.
I do have a question here about these move-in times in Windows, especially for students coming from further away that have a long drive. We're going to do our best to take that into account when we're making our plans. Honestly, there's about 950 people going to be arriving over the course of a couple weeks. We're planning these all by hand and laying it all out on different maps. If you have specific concerns or you're worried about challenges that you might have, I would just encourage you to email me now, and we can try to make sure that we address that as we're planning ahead. So my email, Matt will put that back up there on the slides, is ccampbell@setonhill.edu.
There was a question about plans for virtual classrooms. So as of right now, Seton Hill has many committees that are working on all of the different plans to keep everyone safe on campus. Hopefully, I believe it was a week or two ago, we all received an email from President Finger about the return to campus plan. And so as of right now, I believe Cory is on a committee as well that is looking at all of the rooms on campus and monitoring the size of how many people we can fit into those rooms. Then the registrar will go ahead and assign those rooms accordingly. Most likely our classes will be in a hybrid state to make sure that we can keep everyone as safe as possible, as well as in case anyone does get sick, we don't want them coming into the classroom. So it's not that our classes will be entirely virtual. We will have classes in the buildings on campus, and we will have options for people to be able to do them virtually as well. But our classes are not entirely virtual right now. I don't know, Cory, if there's anything else necessarily to add to that on how they're managing space in the classrooms.
No, and similarly, I think we have a couple other ones. I saw what will happen to room and board fees if, again, this semester is cut short. We don't have specific plans, as right now we honestly hope that we can arrive and finish the semester, and that won't be the case. I can share that in the spring semester, we were able to evaluate exactly where we were in the semester, how many days, and issued a prorated credit back to the student accounts. So a lot of things would come into factor there. It would depend on exactly where we were in the school year, how much was remaining. But yeah, those are things that we were able to do in the spring. And should something happen in the fall, we would evaluate that and make the best decision possible.
And our current academic plan does not cut the semester short. So starting a week earlier than we would have, we are still ending on time before Thanksgiving, because the normal schedule would have been when you came back to campus, you would have had 1 week of classes. So as it currently stands, our fall 2020 academic schedule will not be cut short. Cory, we had a question about windows. Can you talk about windows in the different residence halls, whether it's Havey, Brownlee, or the suites?
Yes, all of the suites or rooms, everyone does have a window, and all of our windows do have 2 horizontally sliding curtains, and those are lined curtains, heavy duty blackout curtains, so you don't need to worry about bringing anything. If you want to see them in a little more detail, those are also shown and featured in some of our video room tours. So if you know your assignment already and you want to check out your room and see what windows and curtains look like, that's all available in those tours.
We had a question about COVID cases. And so as of now, Seton Hill does not have any COVID cases because for the bulk of the summer, students have not been on campus and very limited staff members have been on campus. We are returning to campus, but as you saw from the plan when President Finger emailed us out, we are coming back to campus very regimented to keep us safer in terms of wearing masks, in terms of distancing. And so as of the moment, how it happened in the spring semester when we were still on campus, we were notified whenever there was any report sent into the university about a student or a staff member. We were updated instantly whenever there was an update about someone who was suspected or someone, and when the results came back negative. So that would be the plan as well. And so you would know absolutely, but as of right now, there's no one on campus who's been tested for COVID.
And surrounding us, if you've been following along at home, we're in Westmoreland County here, and over the past week or so, we've been trending somewhere between 25 and 35 cases countywide. But Matt's correct. To my knowledge, nothing that's impacted our campus.
Cory, do you know how they're going to manage the semester break in terms of when they leave in November for the semester? We wouldn't plan because it's a longer break that they would have to take everything out, correct?
No, we don't require students to move out or turn in keys or anything. It will be, we already have a pretty lengthy winter break. It'll be even longer this year. So we will do some inspections and ask you to completely empty your room of any perishable foods, to unplug and defrost your refrigerator over that 6 to 8 weeks that it'll be sitting empty. So other than those, unplugging all electrical devices, we just do some basic close down procedures, but no full move outs.
We had a question about work study and internships. What I can offer right now is most likely that will be something that will be discussed when you start to arrive to campus. Work study is typically something that you'll find out through your financial aid package if you are work study eligible. When you arrive to campus, anyone who has a work study position available will post it on our work study system for you to be able to apply for those positions. So if you're looking for work study, you're not behind. That is something that typically happens at the beginning of the semester. But if you're curious to know if you are eligible for work study positions, that would be through your financial aid package. So you would check with a financial aid counselor for that. In terms of internships, that is then a different process of trying to obtain work that would help you in your future career. That, once you arrive to campus, we will definitely connect you with our Career and Professional Development Center. They have a great staff in the Career and Professional Development Center. We'll get you set up in your connections class with Handshake, which is a tool that we use to help connect you with other internships. I know that they will be working on having a virtual internship fair this fall semester because of the situation, to be able to help our students who are looking for internships. So there will be plenty of opportunities for work studies when you arrive to campus through your financial aid package, as well as internships through our Career and Professional Development Center.
I also saw the rooms in the suites. Yes, the towel bars are in the wardrobe closets. Those closets also have mirrors in them, and there is a mirror over the double basin sink in the bathroom area.
At the moment, I believe I've exhausted the question list. Are there other questions or anything else that Cory could answer for you about life on campus in the residence halls, or that I might be able to answer for you about orientation, anything new student related? And since we're sitting here at the moment, go ahead. If you don't have your camera shared, go ahead and share your camera. Let's do a screenshot time. I'll give you a second to get ready. I got to fix my hair. It'll take me a few shots. I've got about 3 screens here. So go ahead and in 3, 2, 1. And I'll move to my next screen here. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Anyone else hopping in? All right, I see we got some people out in the field, got their mask on, staying safe. There you go. All right, so we took our screenshot for today. We'll put it up on social media later. Make sure everyone gets a chance to tag themselves or see what we're doing. I do know that Christy posted on the Shooting Life yesterday one of the photos from yesterday, so keep posted there. So question about window fans. So can you talk more about the specifics, Cory, of what type of fans would be best in the residence hall?
Yeah, so the windows that we do have in Havey and Brownlee Hall have very, very large window openings and allow a lot of airflow. So what I recommend is actually one of the box fans. Those are usually going to be 20, 24 inches. They will easily fit into the windows and move a lot of air through your room. So if you're out shopping, as opposed to maybe the oscillating fans and things, I do recommend looking into a box fan.
We had a question about dining halls. If you looked into the return to campus plan, it mentions perhaps dining hall shifts. I do know that's something that we are looking into, is what will be the best fashion for us to be able to keep you safe in terms of our dining hall. If you have been to campus on a tour during the normal semester, our dining hall is the most populous place on campus. Many people use our dining hall as a social space. And so there will be some restrictions this upcoming year in terms of the dining hall. I will say that Darren, the Director of Dining Services, will be on our chat on Saturday for the Welcome Before the Weekend. And so he might be able to give a little bit more detail about that. But I know for right now, they're working on the plan. They will work with your class schedules to make sure that we monitor the dining hall as best as we can. All of the staff will be prepared, as opposed to a typical buffet where you grab your food, that they will be serving the food for us. And so I know that Aramark, Darren, and all of the staff there will be prepared to keep us safe in the dining hall. But specific plans will probably come out as we get closer to the semester and everyone's schedules are finalized.
And it does seem likely right now, our real busy period on campus is lunch. Lunch would probably go in shifts. It looks like breakfast and dinner, you'll probably be able to eat at your own convenience whenever you're hungry. And they're also looking at expanding hours of the Cove, which is our grab and go option, so that you have some alternatives to that dining area as well.
We had a great question for you from a student athlete about breaks and staying in the residence halls.
Yes. So typically during a normal academic year, where we would have basketball and wrestling still in season over winter break, those teams would remain residing on campus during their organized time as defined by the NCAA. So usually that's just there's a week off around Christmas Day, and they will be here for pretty much the rest of that winter break.
Cory, can you talk about maybe some of the particular nuances for Mara Hall and how Mara might differ from Brownlee and Havey?
Yeah, so Mara is different. In Mara Hall, it has many different types of rooms, and they're all set up in different shapes and sizes. These rooms range from 1 person to 2 person to 3 person to 4 person. There's even a 5-person room up there. in order to stay safe and observe some social distancing, we've capped all of these rooms at 2 people. So I'd actually recommend anyone who is currently set to be housed in Mara to reach out, and we can try to get you some specific pictures and a specific tour of your room, only because there's so much variance between those. But some of you will find that you have absolute enormous penthouses. Mara is on the top floor of the admin building and has a great view out over the entire city of Greensburg. So some people are going to have some really nice big spaces up there.
Printing. How do people bring printers into their rooms, Cory? Do you find?
Most students do not bring a printer. We have wireless printing available in all of our residence halls. So you can easily print and run out and grab it, as well as you really never go 100 feet on our campus without being near a wireless printer. And the student account that you have a printing quota for the semester. I've never actually met anyone who printed too many pages and used all that printing quota. So I would absolutely recommend just save your money and print from any of the lobbies and lounges across campus.
Other questions?
Oh, also, I missed the second half of the question about elevators. Havey Hall and Brownlee Hall do not have an elevator. Mara Hall kind of has one. It serves the first, second, and third floor, but the residence hall, all the students would live on the 4th and 5th. So none of those areas will have an elevator that goes all the way to the resident areas.
Talk about laundry, Cory.
Laundry. We do have free laundry across campus, and that's now available in every building. So you can just go in and pop your clothes in and push your button, and that will start right up, and you don't have to pay anything. Off-campus visitors, parents. This is going to be quite a bit different for us this semester. After move-in weekend and once we start the year, we want to be as safe as possible. So we are asking that there are no non-Seton Hill students that enter the residence halls throughout the semester. So if you're coming up to pick your student up, or you want to go out to eat, or you're dropping off some groceries, we're going to ask you to stay outside the building to meet them out there. You're welcome to go ride around in the car and see Greensburg, but we're not allowing anyone to enter the buildings. Deschanel Hall, anyone who's in that honors housing area, it's actually quite a bit different, and it has some more modern amenities. There is air conditioning there. You do share a bathroom area with just the other suite mates in that room. That's another one. You can take an entire tour on that YouTube page with our other videos that will take you into each one of the bedrooms, and as well as around the suite common spaces like the common room and the bathroom in those suites. So if you have specific questions or you want to see how those are laid out, that video is probably going to be your best bet. Also, if anyone who is having trouble or can't find those videos on YouTube, there is a link in our profile on Instagram. So you can always just go to the Residence Life Instagram page and find that link, and that should take you right to all of our videos in YouTube.
Looks like we've exhausted our question list as of this moment. And so we're going to go ahead and put Cory's information back up there for you. So to make sure, if you want to write this down or take a screenshot, I will also send this out once we get everything wrapped up here. With having a session every day, it gets a little bit difficult to do it on a daily basis, but we will send you all this information if you attended today, as long as I have your information there. And so make sure, again, if you haven't already done so, that I have your full name as a part of your profile within here, so that I know who has attended, so I can send everything to you. Hopefully we've been able to answer all of your questions. And as a reminder, you can find all the information that you want on our Road to the Hill, .setonhill.edu website. That is where we will have the recording for today's session, and that's where you can register for our future events. And so as you can see, we have a few more events scheduled this week. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we have a trivia night. For students, you can win gift cards to the bookstore. On Saturday, we will have a 2-hour event where you will be able to meet over a dozen different staff members from the university, including Cory and I again. We will then have private Zoom rooms. So when the session is done, you can go into a Zoom room with our staff members and be able to ask them specific questions. Then we start back up next Monday at 7 p.m. with a Griffin Gathering social for students. Even if you attended last Griffin Gathering, hop back in again, get to meet some of your other classmates, and we'll have some dialogues there. On Tuesday the 14th, Cory will be back for a residence hall tour. So we'll do a little bit more. He'll show you some of those videos that we had for the residence halls, and we'll talk a little bit more there. Then Wednesday, we have 2 sessions. So if you find yourself going to be a student who's going to commute to campus, we will have a session for you at 6 o'clock for commuters to be able to connect with our Dean of Students, Adriel Hilton, as well as some upper class commuter students. We will then at 7:30 have a social for transfer students. So if you're transferring from somewhere else to Seton Hill, we'll have a social for you. We'll wrap up next week on Thursday the 16th with Inclusion on the Hill. We'll have our Associate Dean for Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity and International Students, as well as our Director for Disability Support Services. Both of them will visit us on Thursday for a session there. And so hopefully we've been able to answer any of your questions, and have a good night. Cory, do you have anything else to add to close out?
Actually, yes. I just wanted to let everyone know that oh, hold on. I just ruined it. I actually just got the link for all of the YouTube on our channel. So I just put that into the chat. It should have gone out to everyone, and that'll save you some time tracking down those links.
If I can, while I was giving my closing speech, which is fine, we still got plenty of time. I have a few more questions here. There we go. All right, so cleaning in Deschantel, cleaning the bathrooms. How does cleaning the bathrooms go in Deschantel?
So all of the cleaning in the suites is up to the students in there. We can give you some recommendations, and we will have some guidelines on those, but we do not enter any of the students' private areas. In Havey, Mara, and Brownlee, we will clean all those common community restrooms.
And that works as well. If you do not have the chance to change your name on your thing, that's fine. Send me a text with your name. So Sophia, I appreciate that you sent me your name in the message, so I know it was you who was on this chat because you couldn't change your name. Cory, can you talk about the cleaning of the shared bathrooms in terms of the toilet seats or any type of covers, or how we'll be able to help them in the shared bathrooms?
Yeah, so you can find more detailed information about cleaning than you would ever want to know in our campus reopening guide that was issued by Mary Finger about a week and a half ago. Those bathrooms were going to be cleaned by our custodians in Aramark twice daily in all those spaces. We're also going to ask that students social distance, that we use every other sink, that you're very cognizant of things like when you're brushing your teeth, just don't lay your toothbrush down on different surfaces around the bathrooms. We're also going to, it looks like we're having some procurement trouble possibly, but adding some wipes and additional hand sanitizers to those spaces. So they're going to be cleaned twice daily, and we're going to provide a little bit more for you to take care of your own health and safety in those spaces as well.
You talk about wearing masks in the residence halls, is how we'll manage when you can take off your mask in the residence halls.
Yeah, so again, very detailed plans in these opening guides. When you're moving out and about on campus, you will need to have your mask on. If you are in your own room, you do not have to have your mask on. So if you just want to go home and sit in your room and study and take your mask off, that's fine. Walking around the hall, you will need to have your mask on. Whenever you go to the bathroom to shower and brush your teeth, you don't need to have a mask on at those times. So if you're in your own room, if you're showering, brushing your teeth, or if you're in the process of eating or drinking something, you won't need a mask. Otherwise, you should have a mask anytime you're on campus. I would also encourage, we will add, we'll have roommate contracts whenever you move in, and it'll have some questions for you and your roommate to talk about. But a good question to start thinking about now is what you want to do about masks in your room. While we won't require you to do it, do you and your roommate, if you're both sitting on your bed and studying, do you think that you still want to wear masks? Do you agree that as long as they don't have any other student visitors over, that you won't wear masks in the room? Figure out what you're comfortable with, but we won't enforce you wearing a mask in your own space.
And then someone did ask about Hy-Vee does have rooms with individual sinks in them. Is there anything else that might be special about Hy-Vee or Brownlee compared to other halls?
No, that would be the biggest one. Hy-Vee does have the small hand sink. Otherwise, the amenities are pretty similar across the board, both within the room and what we offer. Otherwise, like I said, the microwaves, toasters, kitchenette areas, laundry, those are pretty similar across the board. As we ramp up and we get closer to coming back, and maintenance and custodial get a chance to get caught up after everyone hastily evacuating in March, we'll be able to share some more videos and take you around some of those other spaces to show you community kitchens and laundry areas and some of the other areas of the building that we couldn't explore just because we hadn't caught up with those maintenance and cleaning issues yet.
And there was a question, we do not currently, temperature check stations. I don't believe that's currently a part of conversation, but not like a required one.
We will do temperature checks for all guests and contractors, anyone that comes to campus. We are asking students, you should plan, actually I should have added that, should plan to bring a thermometer with you to campus. Students should be performing daily checks on themselves. And we're going to ask that you be a responsible community member. And if you do notice an elevated temperature or a fever, when you do your daily temperature check, that you report and self-quarantine and make sure that you're taking care of others on campus as well.
Looking here, I think we have exhausted most of the questions that we would be able to answer at this time. All right, so everyone, thank you. Again, if you have more questions, feel free to email roadtothehill@setonhill.edu. Feel free to email Cory about anything pertaining to the residence halls. Hope to see your smiling faces tomorrow for our trivia night, and then see you on Saturday for our Welcome Before the Weekend and any of our other upcoming sessions that we'll have. So thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to stop the recording.